Rebellion within the Aam Aadmi Party ranks as a story we'll be tracking very, very closely. But for the moment, let me take you to Editor South T.S. Sudhir for all the updates from the Peninsula.
Thanks a lot, Gaurav. On the Peninsula update this Tuesday evening, it's really time to hang our heads in shame. That's because in the last 48 hours, in different towns of Andhra Pradesh, two young women, one a 17-year-old and another a 21-year-old, have died because they were burnt by young men who claim to be in love with them. Clearly, tough laws are not acting as an effective deterrent. And it's time India outraged against such horrific crimes against women.
"21-year-old Aruna died on Sunday after battling burn injuries for 5 days. She was in love with Saidulu, but discovered that he was already married with a son. When she confronted him, Saidulu threw kerosene on her and set her ablaze. With 95% burns, Aruna fought a losing battle with death from the moment she was admitted to hospital. The end came on December 22nd. This 17-year-old girl, Kirti Revathi, had been set ablaze at her home in Andhra Pradesh's East Godavari district on December 18th. She breathed her last on Monday while undergoing treatment. In her case also, the accused, 22-year-old Naveen Kumar, was in love with her. He was enraged when he learned that Revathi's marriage had been fixed elsewhere. And so, he came to Revathi's home when she was alone, doused her with kerosene and set her on fire.
I think the pity of this is that women are viewed only as sex objects, and you look at them only as whether they are going to be sexually attractive or not, whether they remain alive. I mean, when you're burnt, we've seen what happens to burn cases. So the whole thing is to destroy the physical, that women are reduced to physical appearance. So that you say that if I can't have it, then nobody can, and you destroy it with fire, with acid, with whatever. And that is, I think to me, that is the depth of inhumanity, and that's a depth to which women have been brought today.
But the police meanwhile say that they must be empowered to undertake counselling on an informal basis to prevent such incidents.
Some kind of a counselling occurs, which must be, the police must be empowered to do it under the law. Now it may be at best an advisory. So something, maybe you don't bring them to the court of law, but there is a certain mechanism where you say, you advise, father goes and says, look, my girl is being lured by X or Y or Z and the other. The police must be empowered to bring in and ask him, counsel both of them and say, look, this is not right.
It is obvious tough laws on paper aren't good enough to stop this kind of violence against women. High time for the authorities and society as a whole to wake up from its deep slumber. With T.S. Sudhir in Hyderabad, Shujoy, Headlines Today.
Joining us now from Bangalore is Ms. Geeta Menon, Secretary of the Stree Jagriti Samiti. Ms. Menon, thank you very much for joining us on the Peninsula Update. Such kind of brutal violence, would you say that we as a society are becoming more brutal, more vicious?
Of course, violence is increasing and is outrageous. We as a society, because of the inequity that is already existing in society, it brings out more and more of the character of violence. Also, besides that, is the kind of conditioning that power equations in society are fixed. Power equations are between what is the hierarchy in society, what is decided by the hierarchy right from the beginning, whether it be the caste hierarchy, gender hierarchy or the class hierarchy. And it is based on this power equations that the violence is increasing.
Ms. Menon, would you say that the policing as we know today is quite incapable of dealing with this kind of deviant kind of behavior which is exhibited by many young men?
I would not say incapable. I would say that a large part of it is because we have to examine the origins or the way in which this is perpetuated. The way in which it is perpetuated is through the kind of culture and through the notions of sexuality that is there in our culture. So on one side, while there is a cultural impasse and while there is a cultural bias in terms of the woman's position, in terms of her position in society, the kind of policing that is taking place is also kind of not at all strengthened, because when dealing with cases, we have very often found that once we enter the criminal justice system, there is a re-victimization that takes place. And with this re-victimization that is taking place is that not only is the attention given by the police towards this, towards these kinds of rapes and sexual assaults or violence, the attention given by the police is not even within the ambit of what the law provides, and the negligence, I would say, in many cases. And beyond that is also the entire criminal justice system and the way it functions, you know, where we are re-victimizing the victim more often.
Absolutely. Ms. Menon, just stay on with us, because we are also on to another story, this time again from Hyderabad. Yesterday we brought you the shocking story of an inspector of Hyderabad police who indulged in his own brand of moral policing. He found about a dozen girls and boys who he thought had bunked college to visit the historic 7 tombs in Hyderabad. And he indulged in this moral policing by making them do sit-ups. The Hyderabad Police Commissioner has now ordered an inquiry. There you can see those pictures on your screen.
Yes, I ordered inquiry with rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police, Asif Nagar, for the inquiring into the what happened really in pertaining to the moral police done by Golconda Police.
Ms. Menon, patriarchal mindset would seem to suggest that the only way to protect women is to restrict their freedom in every way, not let them go to parks, not let them go to shopping malls, not let them interact with boys. Would you agree that that's the way we are getting into a society of this kind?
This is absolutely outrageous. I mean, the police have absolutely no right to indulge in this kind of moral policing, neither the police nor anyone in society, because it should be left to the responsibility of the people. At the same time, because of these kinds of attitudes, I mean, this is absolutely shocking. Why is it this kind of punishment or this kind of moral policing is not on the boys? Why is it not committed on the men, as if the women have made the mistake, as if the women, and no one has any right to trespass on private and private interests and individual freedoms.
Right. Ms. Geeta Menon, thanks a lot for joining us with that perspective.